Hey, it's Stephanie. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Unwritten. I have the amazing Susie Moon here today.
Hi, Steph. How are you?
I'm fantastic. So a little bit of backstory about Susie is that I knew your name before I knew you. Because when I would say I was from Baraboo, everyone would be like, do you know Susie Moon? This was early on in my networking career. No, I didn't know Susie Moon. And then, I don't know, eventually I met Susie Moon, and now she's in my kitchen, dining room / area. Tell the listeners who you are and why do so many people know you?
I grew up in Baraboo.
Okay.
That's where I'm from. I moved away, came back, and I've been a business owner for 5 years. I used to work in corporate, and I felt like I didn't fit in there. You know, I like to swear, tell dirty jokes, don't like to dress up. I don't like rules, and I just never knew what I wanted to do with my life. I grew up with 2 entrepreneurs, local owned business here in Baraboo.
Then shout it out, please.
Yep, Baraboo Awning, and my brother is running the company, and I just never was interested enough to dive into it. So I don't do anything according to the plan. I'm a black sheep. I just like to do my own thing. And finally, my mom was going through cancer, fighting off cancer for 5 years. And when she was in hospice, she finally said, just Susie, why don't you just start your own business? So I decided to do that. Didn't even know what I wanted to do. I thought I was going to be a virtual assistant. And some of my family members were like, that's not a thing. It was before 2020. It was before, they just didn't know that it was a popular thing to do online. And I started it anyway and started doing a lot of technical work, like helping set up CRM systems and all the things behind the scenes for business owners. And that morphed into just kind of leaning into more of the connection. I realized I loved networking. I love talking with people. I love finding out like what everybody's good at and how can I match them up with others and do introductions. So that's kind of what I've evolved my business into now is just making those connections and finding the right places for you to hang out to build more of your audience.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That is a lot. So it's just 5 years ago?
Yeah.
So up until that point, you were in corporate. What did you do in corporate?
I was a sales support person. So I planned events. I put butts in seats. I helped sales teams focus on what they did best was making relationships instead of, all the things behind the scenes that you would normally have to do as a salesperson, like enter these into your CRM system and track your goals and all of that. I was kind of doing the work for them and also finding the leads that they didn't even know were there, I was nudging them in a way. And some people call me the mother nudger. I remind people, hey, did you follow up on this? Did you said you were going to do this and did you do it yet? And just pushing people a little bit, being that mother figure that they wanted to have in their life without being a mother.
So it's really scary to make that leap, and your mother's blessing, I'm sure, was helpful, but that doesn't mean you're going to go out and do it.
It was hard.
Okay.
I made $100 the first month. It was awful.
And how did you make your first $100 though? I hope it wasn't anything illegal.
It wasn't, surprisingly. That's what everybody thought it was going to be. But no, someone paid me to promote one of their events. So, and it's funny, I didn't realize I was doing that at the beginning. And now I'm doing it again. So the things I thought I was going to go into business for at the beginning are kind of coming full circle. I wasn't leaning into them. Like I knew that I loved networking. I wanted to get paid for it, but I wasn't sure how that would look. But it took me 5 years to kind of come full circle and figure out who would be paid for this. I'm a connector. So you kind of look back and think, why did I? It's like the broken road. God bless.
God bless.
Yes. Yeah. It's like that's strong
too.
Yeah.
So it led you to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And leaning into my gifts and, even like talking with Laura and she has the endotype formula, leaning into who I was as a person and how I operate. That was a huge eye-opening thing for me. because people see things you don't see in yourself. And finding the right people to mirror that to you was so powerful. And I always surrounded myself with people that were going big places. Like they had dreams, they knew what they wanted. And I felt like I was riding on a train with them without being a conductor. I was on the train, but they were in the lead car and I'm just the caboose at the end, kind of finding my way in a slow, painful way.
5 years is not a slow, painful way at all.
It feels like longer, to be honest. It's a good process. I've gained more confidence. I can't imagine being the same person I was 5 years ago. And it's a good thing. I think I'm benefiting more people by being who I truly am. And I was so afraid to do that at the beginning. And I think in corporate, we hide. We don't actually lean into our gifts when we're in a corporate job. But when you have your own business, it's you. You have to be authentic. You have to have a personal brand. It's the beauty in it.
Yeah.
Where if you feel like you don't fit in, maybe entrepreneurship is for you because you can be who you want to be. And the more unique you are, the better. It's cool.
People remember you because you love Quick Trip.
Oh, I know.
So, no, I shouldn't say that's how people remember you. That's awful. But that's how
They might.
I connected you because you were doing a stand-up, if you will, for the Dames, which was a group of women in Madison. And you talked about Quick Trip. Like, you're just you. Laura Hulleman, also super influential. And I wish I would have turned to her years ago. I just didn't know. I knew who she was, but I didn't know what she was doing. And she also was able to help me understand my gifts in a way that was super helpful, not only for my marketing, but also to understand when clients would come in and like we just didn't jive right. It's because we just weren't aligned. And I wanted everybody to come in. So I would hide parts of myself, but you can't hide who you are. Let's talk about that, right? You cannot hide who you are. So I want to be this corporate headshot photographer. And then I would get mad when people would come in and just want corporate headshot photography and I couldn't be myself. So now when I do corporate headshot photography, they're going to get all of me and we're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
And they know that because now my brand is,
Yes. It's you.
it's me. It's fun. It's fun to be you. Now, let's go back again. You said that you needed people kind of around you to, or not that you needed, but supported you. Who did you think you were before? Because everybody knew you were special and knew you were somebody to remember,
Yeah.
but you probably didn't see that, correct?
I think people thought I would be doing more than I was, or they saw me as a leader, I think. And I didn't know that I was until I started leading. It's just a natural thing. I think when you're really doing what you love and you have passion and you want to share it with people, I think you automatically become a leader and even a thought leader. Like I started feeling like I know what I'm talking about now. And now there's also the thing about imposter syndrome where you think every day is like a roller coaster. You feel like, oh, I'm awesome. No, I'm not. Oh, I'm good. No, I'm not. Like every day is up and down as a small business owner based on what you're working on. But people could see the talent. And like I said, they mirror what you don't see. So they're telling you, well, you should be on stages or you should do comedy or you're funny, And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm behind the scenes. That's what I do. So leaning in and being brave and getting out in front of people, that's hard, but it's worth it. Because when you're there, you can really lean into who you are and the gifts that you bring to other people.
That's the piece. It's when you are authentically you and you are shining bright, just because you're you, you don't understand the effect you have on other people.
Yeah.
That's super important.
Yep, exactly. And I think it's important to get feedback from people. What do they see? Getting that constant, okay, this is what I'm thinking. You need a board of directors almost as a small business owner. You need that group of people that you can trust and you can say, I don't know what I'm doing here. Can you guide me? And looking for help, because without that, we would be lost. I don't think anyone does small business ownership alone. I just think it's so hard, and you don't go into business knowing everything about it. There's so many different aspects that you learn along the way, and you need support no matter where you're at. Have to find those people that you trust and they inspire you to be better. They know you have more potential than you believe yourself. And if they can bring you up a level, man, it's golden. So cool.
2 parts to this. I want to talk about the Pat Miller stuff first. I think that undoing the programming that we've been brought up with, that we aren't special, that there is something inherently wrong with us, that we don't fit in, we're not deserving. There's a huge part of being maybe not just a small business owner, but to be able to navigate the ups and downs that you talked about, is knowing that authentic self that's within you that has nothing to do with other people's views, other people's thought processes, other haters. I think that there's a maturity that comes within that we have to seek the help that we need as well. And that I'm in therapy, if you couldn't tell. And I've gone, I dabble, and then I don't dabble. And so now I'm dabbling again, and just understanding where some of this stuff comes from, because I do believe we live our realities. So if our reality is skewed into thinking we're not good enough, we don't deserve to be seen, heard, then that's what is going to be reflected.
And I think it's great that you're doing the work to improve yourself, because if we rely on other people to tell us who we are, what are we doing? I mean, yes, we want reflection, but if we tell people to guide where we should go, I think we just need to trust who we are as just a human being. And worthiness is my deep core wound. I struggle with that every day. Who am I to be worthy of this? And you feel guilty and you don't feel enough. And there's all those things that go in your head, and you wonder where, I had a great childhood. Why would I be feeling this way of all people? Why would, but something about it, you just compare yourself to other people. And me growing up, it was always my weight. I love to eat. This girl doesn't miss a meal. And I wasn't exercising. So all that, and trying to be as skinny as my brother was part of the thing, it's hard. It's just, so doing the work is important for you and me and everyone. I almost think you should have a coach in every stage of your life, or a therapist. So however you want the help. I got married because it was what everybody was doing. I just wanted to please people so badly. I wanted to make everybody happy with where I was going. And that was conforming, and that was fitting in. And I'm done. I'm done doing that.
Yeah, you were checking the boxes.
Exactly. But we're not told to do any other thing besides you got to, get the 2.5 kids and the picket fence and all of the things. That's how we grew up. You have to get married. You should have a box of things that you plan your wedding with, with all the invitations. Yeah. It's not the right way.
You're bringing up so many important topics. First off, women do put their self-worth into their weight really badly today. That I see that a lot with my photography. Oh, could you just take 5 pounds off? Or maybe I'll just wait. And then, so this is what's been happening, is that with different tools like Ozempic, people are losing the weight, but then they still don't have the confidence. Then they don't have the clothes. So it's always something
Yeah.
until we realize that it doesn't matter what our weight is, doesn't matter what clothes we bring. It's all about
The power you have inside in your heart, who you are. And you just have, it's hard to believe in yourself, especially if you're looking for that outside reinforcement. But I think you come to a certain age, especially as women, where we just don't care anymore. We're so tired of trying to fit in everyone else's expectations and what we should be doing, where we just finally listen up and think, this is what I want to do, but a lot of us aren't leaning into that either. We're just going through the motions, staying in a marriage, a loveless marriage, or whatever it is. Are you achieving something? So I like to push people a little. Like, what is the one thing that you never thought you could do, even if it's bungee jumping or, doing an improv class or eating a whole chicken in a Quick Trip parking? No, I haven't.
not yet.
But it might be on my bucket list.
What is on your bucket list?
I want to take Carson, my son, to Italy. It's like number one. Just not have the small business owner struggle. I want more time in my schedule. I want to see my friends and family again, but I work a lot. So, and I still love it though. I love it at the same time. So it's like I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to do the balance, but I would love to take my dad somewhere on a trip and maybe go casino hopping.
I mean, you can do that.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's stopping me?
Right.
Time? I don't know.
Money, time,
Yeah.
all the things.
Visit all the quick trips, maybe.
Yeah. But if you found out next week you were going to not be here or you're going to lose your legs, you would make the time.
Absolutely. Yep.
I'm telling you that because I'm telling myself that.
I love that. It's important. Yeah.
It is. And I am curious because what is it called? The small business, the Pat Miller stuff.
The small business owners community. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to restart that. Would you please talk about the small business owners community for all of my listeners for the same reason that we were just talking, how it's hard to be a small business owner because we work all the time. It's hard to be a woman because we don't feel like we're worthy. And you have connected yourself very deeply with this program or community. And you're a very smart woman. So I would love for you to talk about why this is important to you and how you've grown because of it and what other people can get out of it.
Yeah. So it originally started as the Idea Collective. So Pat Miller, who is based in Milwaukee, he is one of my original clients. And
are your ears okay? Or is it too loud? Or is
no, I just have to move it. Okay. It's maybe too big. That's better. Keep going. So Pat Miller he's based in Milwaukee. He was one of my original clients. And as soon as Tom Hanks announced, or the NBA was shutting down because of 2020, Tom Hanks got COVID. And it was that moment where he started an online group of business owners to get together on Zoom every day and talk about what was happening with, the industry, everything. Everything was shutting down. How do we, small business owners, recover from that? So that morphed into a community, which was called the Idea Collective, and now has morphed into the Small Business Owners Community. And the premise is don't grow it alone. It's a community filled with small business owners from all over. We have members in Australia, just all over the country, usually United States and a few Canadians. And it's the group of people that you can ask questions, you can be vulnerable. We hop on idea slams twice a week. And we offer feedback to one another. If you raise your hand and say, I need help with this, I don't know what to do. And it's a free session where you go in as a member and you get help from the people in the community. People are there to attend only to help too, which is amazing. So it's not a place where it's all taking. It's a giving community. I'm actually the community manager and I run the Madison chapter of the group. The SBOC is what we call it. And every year Pat puts on this amazing conference. He brings in high-level speakers Mel Robbins, Dan Martell, Jesse Cole with the Savannah Bananas, Marcus Lemonis.
I love Marcus Lemonis. I don't know if he still has that show, but
I don't know either. Yeah. Elena Palmer. I mean, the list goes on and on. Mike McAllowitz. And now he's adding an event, a virtual event in the spring to bring in some more people. So he curates this group of amazing speakers to bring content and value to the members and the public. You know, if anyone wants to attend, it's open. And it's the best group I could have asked for in building my business. So everybody that can join has to be a small business owner. So if you're a business development person at Menards, you know, it's not a good fit for you because you're technically not a small business owner. We want people that are their brand, you know, or building, scaling. You know, they could have a big company that have a accounting firm and they're, you know, having multiple locations. So I could go on all day about this. I'm so passionate about the group. And Pat even did a TEDx where he talked about the power of community. And it's one of the best TEDx's I've ever listened to. And I think I cry every time I watch it.
It's part of, yeah. From what you're telling me, from what I'm hearing from you, it's, I don't know, overcome some of this imposter syndrome. You recommend getting a coach, getting a community. I recommend therapy. So we've got 3 things. What else is there, do you think?
I think, to me, business is all about relationships. I love when you can really connect with people and get to know them, you know, go to these networking groups and events. But if you're not having deeper conversations, it's not a business card exchange. It's so much more than that. It's finding out who people are, what makes them tick, what are they listening to, you know, and just having real conversations that you don't normally have at a regular networking event. I like to kick it up a notch and throw some comedy, maybe talk about a funny story, you know. Yeah, I love networking. So I think, and it's hard for introverts. So finding a person to go with you even, you know, can you take a wing woman with you to an event and have her introduce you to everyone in the room, or, you know, set some goals. There's so many things, so many strategies, but building referral partners, I think, is huge when it comes to having a business. You want people talking about you in the rooms that you're not in. It's powerful.
So true. I just had coffee with one of my girlfriends. Is a esthetician. She just opened up a new business in town. I'm going to say it wrong. Name's Katie. With Luma something.
Cool.
And she was saying how, so I'll preface. A couple of years ago, I had this idea of like women's group in Baraboo, because traveling to Madison all the time. And so I had this beer and food pairing at Tumbled Rock. And she was one of the people that came. And then I went through my divorce and COVID, all the things happened. I haven't done it since. So she was like, you know, I would really like to do that again. So we're doing it. I think April 16th, we're going to do another beer and food pairing to try to get more community in like-minded women in Baraboo. And it's a hard struggle to understand how to get people butts in seats. What is that what you call it?
Yep.
Butts in seats when we're so worried about ourselves. And I 100% agree with networking, and I'm super introverted. Not 9 times out of 10, but 50% of the time I don't go. 50% of the time I do go, though. That's pretty good odds.
That is pretty good.
It is really great to have a friend that might not make you go, but then you feel bad letting them down.
Yeah.
Because I'm a people pleaser. I'm an introverted people pleaser. And the stuff that happens in Madison is not that far. That's the other thing. It's 50 minutes, and there are so many women that want to lift each other up.
Yeah.
That if you don't have that in your town, you can find it if you want. And even online, you can find it.
So many options. Yeah. I love that idea. And I would love to go to that event. So let me know.
Yeah, we're meeting next week with Erica, the head brewer, the brewmaster, and we're going to rock out the menu and stuff. So it's a super fun event. And honestly, I have a friend, Shannon, who really wanted to meet you at the last event, the Elite Women event at Kaiser Lincoln.
Yeah.
And somehow she missed you. So hopefully she comes, and then
That would be great.
it's totally off topic, but that's so with networking and getting out of your comfort zone to go networking, when I started realizing the importance of it, I would find topics that I was interested in and go do that. I ended up at 100 State years ago when it wasn't 100 State, but it was closer to 100 State than where it is now.
Okay.
It's moved around quite a bit, but I would take WordPress classes for free.
Oh, wow.
And I met people. And then social media breakfast, that's another free one. And you go, and it's scary AF the first couple times you go. And then you start meeting people. And then 6 years goes by and you walk into an event and you're surrounded by friends.
It's magical.
It's magical, but you have to take the first step.
Yes. Yep. And if you are an introvert and you're going in person, keep an eye out on the outside of the room, because that's where the other introverts are hanging out. Just talk to one person. And if you go in thinking, I just want to talk and have a good conversation with one person, put your expectations lower. If you just don't put so much pressure on yourself to walk out with 10 new leads.
Percent.
It's exhausting even thinking I don't want to show up for an event if I put that on myself.
Right. When I was in the Middleton chamber, there were so many people and I was so overwhelmed. I would just go find a spot to sit. And whoever sat next to me, I would have a conversation with. That was my game plan. 300 people in a room. I'm going to meet one. And that's good enough for me.
Or find the connector in the room too. The person that loves introducing. It might not be your wing woman, but find the one that knows everybody.
And how do we spot those women?
That's a good question.
Do they have like a little sim star or something? I don't know.
It's a good question. I think Laura Holloman might have a better idea of what that person looks like. Don't know. But they're usually just talking to everybody. You'll see them. They're probably either connecting somebody already, or you'll see that. It's almost like an event planner in the room. They're kind of going around to eat. They're checking on people. They're not having deep conversations because they're connecting, but you'll find them. Yeah.
It's like, where's Waldo?
Kind of. Yeah.
Spot the connector.
Yeah. And if you're ever in a room with me, I'm happy to introduce you to everyone. I love that. If I know who you want to meet and who your target people are, that's all I do at these events. So the SBOC conference last year, I spent more time trying to match people up in that room than anything else. And so I had to rewatch all the videos for the content. But that's what I do. That's what I'm best at. So, and then I sleep for 3 days after.
As an extrovert, you're still sleeping after. That's super important too. I know after an event, I'm exhausted for at least a day as an introvert.
Yeah.
However, it's worth it.
It is.
You're doing some of these webinars, correct? First off, why don't we talk about the webinars, what they are, and where are you guiding your business towards?
I put a goal that I would do a webinar every other month because I didn't want too much, I didn't want to do every month and have to fill it and all of that.
On top of the SBOC stuff.
Yes.
So
this is just for Susie Moon Consulting. I want to teach people how to find leads, how to network, how to connect with the right people, let's brainstorm. Where are those people hanging out? So I want to help people, give them the tools that they can do it on their own in just a short amount of time. I only do like 30-minute webinars because I get distracted. And so I've applied to speak at a couple places and I got accepted to one that's in April. It's called the Lead Conference and it's in McHenry, Illinois. And I'm going to do a 45-minute segment on networking and I want to shit my pants.
Yeah. And like you're jumping off a cliff and you don't know where to land.
Absolutely. But I did it. I applied. I got it. And I know it's going to work out. You know, I'm not a big fan of public speaking because I feel like I get so distracted, but I'm embracing it. Sometimes it's something you have to do. It's almost like getting a colonoscopy. You just got to do it and you'll be healthier on the other side. That was a bad analogy.
Are you supposed to be 50 when you get your first one, or how old?
I was 45 when I got my first one, so I've had two.
Oh, got another year yet.
Yeah. You just embrace that.
I mean, networking's the same way. Just do it and you'll feel better.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you'll feel better. You will.
Yeah, you feel better. Then you're ready for a big cheeseburger.
Yeah, you're cleared out. You did the thing. You crossed that off your list.
It's the prep that's the hardest. Same with colonoscopies. Drinking that drink. Oof. Yeah.
It's the same with the photo session. Once they get to my studio, congratulations, you're almost done with this journey. And this is a celebration of all the hard work we've done to get you to this point. You showed up, you're here, let's have fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's nerve-wracking to get your photo taken and figure out what you're going to wear and all the things. And then when you're there doing it, it's done.
And I'm sure you make people feel so comfortable and so at ease.
I try.
Yeah. That's your vibe.
Laura says I'm the counselor lover brand. I like that.
I can see that.
It's very nice. And I embrace that instead of trying to hide that part of me because I got to be a corporate photographer. Well,
you can be whoever you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I started, I did a couple families and then I got into wedding photography and hated that. Was
it the audience or the type of shots you were doing?
The couples. You see the worst in people at weddings, as we kind of touched on earlier. And I would go home and I would cry, and then I'd have 1,000 photos to edit. And then I
live it. You're reliving it, aren't you, when you're editing?
Yeah. And then you miss one shot of a drink. Like, did you get a picture of the signature drink? What about this one of you and your spouse?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The expectations.
And I'm so much better one-on-one with people that what I do now, portrait, headshots, all that stuff is so much more one-on-one and making them comfortable. Okay. So we talked briefly off air about kind of places to hang out in Baraboo. And you're not a hangout person, but you're thinking about it.
I would like to. I do like to do some writing.
And you came back to Baraboo to be closer to family or to find cool places to do your writing?
I came back to be closer to family. No, my dad's getting older and needed a little assistance. He was having hip surgery and I just wanted to be closer and see my nieces and my nephew grow up.
And your son's here too?
My son is in lacrosse at
school.
Yeah.
And what's he going to school for?
Finance.
Ooh, yeah. Looking for a man in finance. Smart.
Yes.
How can people find you and work with you? Because everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs consulting. You have so much knowledge that we're just like scratching. I was looking at your boob, but I was like thinking about your soul. Like we just scratched the surface of Susie Moon. And
you haven't even swore yet. This is good.
You haven't swore. You haven't talked about penises.
No, it's crazy. People can find me on my website, susiemoon.net, SUSIE, or I'm on every social media platform I think there is. I hope I am. There's a lot of social media.
What are you on?
I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my jam. I got hacked on Facebook, so I lost 17 years of content on Facebook. So I'm slowly building my portfolio again.
What was that like? Because I know you were at one point reaching out to friends and family for photos.
Yeah.
It's like your house got burned down, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. I kind of don't know what I'm missing. You know, you think back, there was that one photo, but how often do you think about that one photo? I'm embracing it as like a fresh start. So, because what's the alternative? You know, am I going to sulk and be sad about it, or seek it as an opportunity to, connect with the people I really want to connect with? Because, you friend everyone, but I'm being pickier. I'm the energy I want surrounding me, and it's kind of nice. I can add people as I go, and it doesn't have to be thousands and thousands of people anymore. So it's good. And I wasn't on it during the election process, and I have to say that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
But I did dive into TikTok, and now I'm a little connected to TikTok.
Have you bought anything off the TikTok shops yet? TikTok shops?
Yep.
Yep. You're in it then.
Yeah, I'm in it.
What was your first thing you bought off a TikTok shop?
Gosh, I did Christmas shopping. Yeah. I actually bought gifts of the air fresheners that you hang from your car. I put my dad's picture in it and gave them to some family members for Christmas. So that was fun. Yeah. I've looked at shoes. A lot of shoes are coming up in my feed. I haven't bought them yet.
You probably will.
Yeah. Have you bought some things?
I have.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the first thing I bought because it was kind of random. I bought a pair of jeans, so now all I have is jeans showing up. But I knew the brand, Judy Blue. They're a great, easy, comfy brand.
Good to know.
Yeah. I bought a little thing to get in between my dog's toes for like a little shaver, but he's afraid of it. Bought a dog sling for my part-time dog, my 14-year-old wiener dog. So when I don't go to the dog park, when she's done, she sits in a sling.
I bought a Furbo on TikTok. Have you heard of a Furbo? It's that little tower that shoots out treats when your dog is alone. You can like take the app and feed it a treat.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah, it's kind of addicting.
I know. I wish I had something fun.
Yeah. I'm at home all the time, so I don't do it enough. Kind of scares him. Like all of a sudden, this noise, and then a treat. Yeah, treat pops out. What's going on? Or I can talk to him too, and then he's like,
Through the app?
"Yeah,
Is there a camera on it?
yeah."
Oh,
So I can see what's happening in my living room too.
so it's safety.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why I did it.
People that don't know how, I keep trying to think because Gary Vee's like, you need to have online shopping and all this stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I would love to. What can I sell? I don't know. I thought about journals. I actually did send some emails out to some journal companies. I'm like, okay, what's on brand for me?
Yeah.
Journaling,
I think so.
some photos maybe.
Absolutely.
We'll see. There's only so much time in the day, so everyone can use a little more money if it's easy.
So once I get my book written, I might have some merch.
Yeah.
That. So we'll see.
I wrote a book.
Well,
I don't know what to do with it.
oh, we'll sell it.
I should sell it on my TikTok shop.
You never know.
Yeah. There's some people I have to talk to before I let the book out. It's a memoir about being a teen mom. And I wrote it so that my kids, if anything were to happen to me, that they would know how much I love them and the process that I went through in the last 27 years to become the mom that I am now, that I always wanted to be. But
good.
it's really good, but it's, there's some stuff. So,
Yeah. But don't wait.
it's true. Yeah, that would suck if I died and then what's this? Anyways, okay. And who are your ideal clients?
Gosh, I love speakers. I love helping speakers get the word out,
Interesting, because that's your Achilles heel.
Yeah. Serve the pain,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's something I want to share other people's talents with others, whether it's connecting or putting them in front of the right audience. So anyone who really needs more of an impact, wants to make a bigger splash in the world, those are the types of people that I get goosebumps about, It's making the world a better place. And of course, they have to be okay with my humor and, my language and all of that.
Alignment.
Alignment, yes. That's another thing as a small business owner. You can choose who you get to work with. It's beautiful.
And if you want to say no, just charge a lot.
Yes, the PETA tax.
Yep, that's how I've made peace with the fact that I'm a people pleaser and I can't say no. It's like, well, let's charge a lot, then I can take my son out to dinner because I'm really bad at saying no.
I am too.
I always pay for it though in the end. Yeah, that's why I asked though, because it's important to put it out there until you're good at saying no.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. I hope this was
Yeah.
helpful. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.